You're alright, folks. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Great to see you, as always. We've got the semi-finals today over in Barcelona and in Munich. We're going to touch on them very, very shortly. Only the 4 matches to go through. Although there's not that many to talk about, there's still everything to play for. There's most definitely game on for us today. Like the video if you would. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. Appreciate it if you did. We're over 930 now. We're well on our way to 1,000, so get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. If you want to support the channel, if you want to say thanks, you can do that. There's a link in the description, or you can just click the thanks below the video. It's entirely up to you. What happened today? First things first. I mean, did we get anything today? Let me know. Did we manage to get any winners? Mine was doomed from the start. I had Casper Ruud and Artif, so Casper Ruud, I don't know what happened to him. And then Artif, that would have been void anyway. So, can't complain. Not too worried. I do still have 2 outrights on the go. So, like I mentioned at the start of the week, either one of those gets to the final, it would have been a more than successful week anyway. So, we'll see what happens with them. But we'll talk about these matches, innit? We'll waste no more time. We'll get cracking over in Barcelona. First off, we got Khachanov, Rune. Should be a good one, this. I'm slightly surprised that both of these are in the semi-finals. I won't lie to you, but you can't say neither one does not deserve to be here. Have these ever played each other before? Surely they have, yeah. In the exhibition last year in Hong Kong, that went the way of Rune. Straight sets, that was on the hard court. Who have we been more impressed with so far? I think both have been playing great, don't get me wrong. Khachanov had that tough one against Cam Norrie, I expected that. Played really good against Yami Munar. And then played exactly the same, if not better, against Davidovich Fokina today. There weren't a lot of us that expected that one. Same with Rune as well. Now, fairly easy win, first time out against Ramos Vinulis. I expected nothing less. Sebastian Baez, on paper you'd look at that result and go, very good. Very good. Now I watched that game and he did play good as well, but dropping the first set 6-4 and then, I don't know, Sebastian Baez, I can't help but feel like he just shot that game away, just ever so slightly. 6-1, 6-2 in the second and third. I don't know. Maybe I expected more from Sebastian Baez. Maybe Rune was just that good on the day. And then we come to the quarterfinals where he faces off against Casper Ruud. Now, I wasn't 100% certain, but I was pretty sure Casper Ruud had more than enough to get that done today. And very, very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Admittingly, another good performance from Rune, but once again, I can't help but feel like I expected a lot more from Casper Ruud there. But it is what it is. You get days like that. Didn't think Khachanov would beat Davidovich Fokina, although we did say he is more than good enough. So I think he's better than Davidovich Fokina on his day. I haven't seen Khachanov play like this or look this solid and consistent for quite some time. Same with Yami Munar as well. Munar was a perfect dog in that one. I wouldn't have been shocked to see him lose that game in straight sets. I don't know, he's playing good, I can't tell you who's been playing better. You'd look at the run of Rune and go, yeah, them wins are probably a lot better than Khachanov's, but Baez and Ruud just seemed to fucking crumble a little bit, didn't they? I feel like Khachanov may, I don't know, you'll have to look at the statistics if you want to do that, but if I had to guess, I would say Khachanov probably played a little bit better, purely because he's had to. I don't know. This is close, Rune's 1.5. Depends. 1.45, 1.55, 1.6. It's all over the place, this one. It really is. This is a prime time spot. A prime spot for either one of these to just spiral and shit the bed. Is it not? Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? Can you see this one going 3 sets? I don't know. I think either one of these will just dust the other. I really do. I think Khachanov will be tricky, I think he'll be very, very tricky for playing like this anyway. I think he's playing just as good as him. Just as good, if anything. Khachanov for a set, maybe? Am I doing that? I don't know. I don't know. He has looked really good. I'll give him that. I don't trust either of these in this spot. I really don't. It could go all the way. It could be rather short and sweet. I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen with this one. I don't really think there's a clear path to victory for either one of these. So, personally, I'm going to stay away from it. Holger, fucking hell, he has beaten once before. An exhibition last year, though. Like, does that mean anything? I don't know, folks. You've been watching the games. Who do you think's playing better? You just flip the coin, you roll the dice on this one, you take either one. I think Khachanov for a set. He's been playing good enough to take a set off Holger Rune, but I don't know. Holger Rune came out and just beasted Casper Ruud today, so would you be surprised if he'd done it to Khachanov? Maybe not. I think Holger Rune is a better player. There's a lot more upside to this lad than there is Khachanov, but I don't know. Shall remain to be seen. We'll waste no more time on that one anyway. We'll move on to the last one in Barcelona. We've got Alcaraz and Artif back once again. We seen this, didn't we? Was it last week? Monte Carlo, very close game. Solid performance from both of them. 2-1 to Carlos Alcaraz, 6-4 to Artif in the first, then 7-5 and 6-3 to Carlos in the second and third. Odds are pretty much identical to what they were last week over in Monte Carlo. Artif has been great. Artif has been really good. I'm a bit devastated that Tsitsipas had to pull out of that game. I really would have liked to have seen what would have happened if the two of them would have went after it. Artif probably would have beaten. Do you think? I think he may have done, you know. I don't think it matters, but yeah. Do you think he's going to beat Alcaraz this time out? It's a big ask, innit? It's a big ask. But I will say this, you know. He's in a semi-final now. Artif, quarter-final, 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 semi-final. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. One of the most consistent players on the tour at the moment. The fact that, you know, you're this deep, not only are you this deep into a tournament once again, but you're playing Carlos Alcaraz, either in the quarters or the semis, it doesn't matter. That's an achievement in itself. If I was Artif, I'd be very, very proud of the improvements that I've made this season. Alcaraz has just been doing his shit once again now, and it's just carried over from Monte Carlo, and he's just doing the exact same over in Barcelona. You would have to assume he's just going to win this title too. And then you never know. Where are we next? Madrid? Rome? I think it's Madrid, is it not? Don't quote me on it. I think it's a Masters next. I think it's Madrid. He'll probably just go into that and win that too. I wouldn't put it past him. It's a lot of tennis. It's a big ask, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be this guy, innit? He looked great again today. Against Di Minor. Just a standard win, 7-5, 6-3. It's what you'd expect, innit? He looked decent against Ethan Quinn. Looked alright against Laszlo Djere. This is the thing with Carlos Alcaraz, you know. For the most part of these tournaments, it's as if he barely gets out of third gear. He can just cruise, he can play far from his best, and he can still smoke most people. We've seen this happen in Monte Carlo. You know, we weren't really convinced. You know, the game against like Cerundolo and then even Daniel Altmaier, that was an easy one. Artif was a very close game, like we mentioned. Davidovich Fokina, decent. But then he got to the final against Musetti and just fucking drilled him, didn't he? And it was like, oh, okay. I think he's just going to do the exact same here. I've still got Artif on an outright. One of the two that are still live as well. Like I said, I only need either one to reach to the final, and this week would have been more than successful, believe it or not. I need Artif to win. I'm not going to bet on him to win because, quite frankly, I don't think he will. I think it'll be more of the same, if anything, that what went down over in Monte Carlo last week. I will say this, I do think Artif is playing a little bit better, if anything. Well, it was Carreño Buster and Pedro Martinez. Maybe that doesn't mean... Actually, no. You know, compared to like Greek Sport, Kaboli, Andrei Rublev. What I'm saying is he's doing the exact same. He's playing at the exact same. He's operating at the same level as what he did through Monte Carlo if not a little bit better. I think he definitely could have beat Tsitsipas today. That could have been on the cards. Like I say, Tsitsipas didn't even get through 3 games, barely. I would have liked to have seen a full match, and that probably would have given me a little bit more of an idea of what's going to happen today. But with that being said, it probably wouldn't have made a difference. I think Alcaraz is probably just good for this one too, isn't he? Bastard. Bastard. The last person I needed Artif to run. I would prefer Artif to play either one of Khachanov or Rune and then just get to the final and then get beat and cash that bet. I'd have been very happy with that. But we'll see. You know, we live in a world where anything's possible here. Artif could come out. And we don't know. He could just dog walk Alcaraz tomorrow. We don't know. We don't know. Wishful thinking, I admit, but I don't know. I think it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely, you know. It takes a lot to beat this lad. It takes a lot. Even if you take the first set off him as well, he just comes back 10 times stronger, doesn't he? You get an Artif at 3.5 on the spread. Now, I can't remember if it was 3.5 last time or whether it was 4.5, but whatever one, both of them would have came in. I think it may have been 4.5. I'd love to take Artif on the points. I would. Artif plus that 3.5, I think that stands a very, very good chance of coming in. He has basically got an entire extra day's rest as well. I don't think that'll mean much in the semi-finals, but it'll still stand for something. Maybe take Artif plus the points. I don't know. Like I said, I've still got him on the outright, so maybe I don't need to take him today, even if I wanted to. But I may not be able to help myself. I can resist anything but temptation. You let me know what you're going for on that one. And then we will move on over to Munich really quick. So first off, we've got Francisco Cerundolo and Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton, another one. I'd say I'm surprised that he's here, but I'm not really. You know what he can do on the day. He's played really good over here as well. We've got to give him that. Massive underdog against Francisco Cerundolo, and we expect that. Played each other once before. That was over at Indian Wells last year. And it had come as no surprise to you to find out that it took Ben Shelton not one but 2 tiebreakers to get it done against Cerundolo on the hard court. Aye. Very, very close game. I weren't convinced after that first match against Bonagosio with Ben Shelton, I'll admit. He played a lot better, a lot more convincing against Van der Sandschulp, but it's like, I don't know. Van der Sandschulp he can put in a bit of a snide one from time to time as well, so how much weight that holds, I'm not too sure. Even the game against Darderi today, like, you've got to admit, haven't you, like Ben Shelton's probably the more proven player. He's probably the well better player on this surface. Most definitely not, as of yet anyway, but easy. It's just an easy win for him. And look at the form Darderi was in as well. He's been smoking everyone on the clay. Ben Shelton made it look, I said, nice and easy. 6-4, 6-3. Darderi didn't even come close to winning a set. Fucking, who'd have called that? Who'd have called that? I thought he had a decent shot at winning that game straight up as well, but evidently not. I think, well, it's safe to say Ben Shelton's definitely flown under my radar. I say flown under the radar? Not really. I did take him for a set against Van der Sandschulp, but I thought he'd have a bit of a harder time against Darderi, but he didn't. He played really, really well. Look at Cerundolo though. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. He's played that good. We have just not had to talk about him. But we have to now, don't we? Dead easy against Struff. Simple against Shevchenko. And just routine today against David Goffin. What more could you ask for? Said it before and I'll say it again. This is exactly what I expected from Cerundolo this week. 6-2, 6-4 against David Goffin. 6-3, 6-2 against Shevchenko. Bagel 6-2 against Jan-Lennard Struff. What's he doing to people? What is he doing to people? Now, like, admittingly, I don't want to take anything away from Cerundolo, but this is exactly what he should be doing against this calibre of opponent. I would say Struff is in an absolute rut at the moment. Shevchenko is a bit of a stinker as well, and David Goffin, it's like, come on. but he has been playing really good nonetheless. Has he been performing better, apart from the results on paper? Has he been performing better than what Ben Shelton's had to play? I'm not too sure. I do think Cerundolo's had an easier path. You could say an easier path. I mean, Ben Shelton probably shouldn't have struggled that much against Bonagosho, but he was good enough for him to get the win. And then he seems to have just gotten better and better as the weeks got on. So I'm slightly concerned about that. Ben Shelton, 3.5 as a dog there. Now, once again, I've got Cerundolo on an outright. I need him to win this game. If he wins this, that's it. Guaranteed cash for me. And I'll take that. Same with Artif. If he wins that, I'll take either one of them, even both of them losing in the final, and I'll still get something. He should be beating Ben Shelton, you know. Over on the clay, he should, you know. Playing like this, he's beasting everyone. If he rocks up tomorrow and just fucking hits a brick, runs into a wall like with Ben Shelton, I'll be very, very disappointed in Cerundolo. You can't get this far just to get this far. You need to see this one through, I'd say. Although Shelton's been playing decent this week, you are the most proven and the more trustworthy on the clay. There's no doubt about that. I think he should be getting it done. I really do. He's got more than enough on this surface, more than enough in the bag up his sleeve to pull off the win against Ben Shelton. He's 1.3 on the decimal. That is a massive favourite. I feel like that tells you all you need to know. As has been the case with Cerundolo all week, you take him whichever way you want. And 1.3, 1.35, that's a nice little piece of pie. It is. I wouldn't mind throwing that on a parlay. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit on the outright and just pray he gets this one done. He really should. And if he does, like I said, dollar bills, y'all. I'll be very, very happy with that. And then we'll wrap this shit up. We've got Zverev, Fabian Marozsan. Now, this is one of them games that you could probably talk about for hours. You could go round and round in circles talking about this one. And then it could come to the day and Zverev just beasts him dead easy. I would not be surprised if Zverev wins this one. Straight sets, just like he did last year in Miami. On the hard court, that was, mind you. Fabian Marozsan, big dog, big spreads this deep into the tournament. If you've been playing good enough to reach it, not even just been playing good enough, like he has been playing good enough as well. Decent enough against Hugo Humbert. You can say what you want about Hugo Humbert's hand injury, you know, if it was that bad, you couldn't have played. You know, how you can make it through 2 sets of tennis and even start getting breaks of serve with like a fractured fucking hand, it couldn't have been that much of a problem. I just think Fabian Marozsan was that much better on the day. And then same against Zizou Bergs today, it was pretty much the exact same routine. He's playing so solid. Takes a lot of risks, plays a lot of risky shots, and it seems to be paying off for him. Now, I'm not saying that's going to work against Zverev, but it's worked against everyone this week. He's going for it, and I feel like you've got to. What was that against Greek Sport today? Was that 2 tiebreakers? That went, like over 50.5 games? Of course it did. Got to give it to Zverev, though. I mean, it weren't that long ago we seen him shit that game away from the exact same spot. When was that? Indian Wells? Not that long ago. That was it. Yeah. I think he beats him. I think Zverev beats Fabian Marozsan. I really do. He looked good against Muller and he looked good against Daniel Altmaier, and then I feel like if you've got enough to outgrind the Greek sport like that, I feel like you're probably going to do Fabian Marozsan too. Although, you know, that was a longer match than what Fabian Marozsan had against Zizou Bergs, but I think Zverev's in great shape. I really do. I don't think fatigue's going to be too much of a factor in this one, if a factor at all. 1.3 for Zverev. I couldn't talk it off taking Fabian Marozsan plus the points if you think he's been playing that good to get this one done, or at least keep it close. Be my Christopher guest. But the truth is, folks, I think Zverev gets this one done. I do. And as much as I probably don't want to admit it, I think Zverev may be good for this title. I think he may be good for this one. We'll see. If he gets past Fabian Marozsan, who do you think he'll have a better chance against? Look, he's got to get past Marozsan first, but let's just say he does. Who do you think he has a better chance against, Ben Shelton or Cerundolo? You let me know in the comments. But that'll do us for now. I'll be taking Zverev in that one. It's a decent parlay piece too. You could go Cerundolo and Zverev. Nice little parlay. You could go Alcaraz, Zverev, Alcaraz, Cerundolo. It's entirely up to you. I'm not too sure what I'm going to go for today. Not too sure. I might just sit on the outrights. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it anyway, folks. As always, if there's anything pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I'll be saying good night to you. You take it easy, yeah? You take care of yourself. You take care of one another. Get yourself involved, best bets, all that stuff in the comments. Loads of baseball tonight, anything for tonight's games. Please do let me know. Very well then. Let's go get that cash, yeah? Always a pleasure. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the quarterfinals. We've just had them. But yeah, enjoy the semi-finals, folks. Let's go get that cash. Fingers crossed, hopefully. Best of luck to you. And I'll see you for the final. Take it easy.